Good evening and welcome to the Adafruit Show and Tell. Tonight I'm your host, Liz, and if you would like to join the stream to come on and show your projects, you can find our Discord server, adafruit.it/discord, and you'll see a link on StreamYard to join in. But first, we're going to kick things off with our friend Jay from DigiKey. Hey Jay, how's it going?
Pretty good, can't complain. I wanted to share because I'm working on a workshop. So I haven't done any real workshops that I myself have put together before. I've worked with other people, worked with DigiKey and stuff. But one of my goals for next year is to do fun robot workshops. So I've been working on a small little robot design and design that can be easily printed, and then we can use the Circuit Playground to make cool STEM bots. So.
Oh, so cute.
My main goal with it is the reason why it's printed out in white because I want people to actually draw faces and draw characters and designs on it, and that way, while we're giving workshops, I can kind of show that you can add a lot of character by giving just a little face. This is just a face and a little no nod, and does so much.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's also coming with some other designs I'm working on. I just finished pulling this off the printer. It has tentacle legs as well that people can choose from. So there are going to be choices of what type of body design a person will want for their robot. And I'm hoping to get that together and get that ready for DigiKey for next year for some fun workshops.
That'd be great. And I know that you just gave a talk at Hackaday SuperCon, and in it you were talking about how to give personality to your robots by giving those little movements. You had some really good tips in there. Yeah.
I want to expand upon that more. I'm hoping to give some more talks about that in the future, but as well, I want to be able to share that with this workshop so I can start showing how you can easily add a little bit of illusion of life by just eyes, color changing, small little sensors here and there, and they can do the rest.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jay. I'm looking forward to these workshops too. That's going to be great. No problem. Have a good one. Next, we're going to hear from some folks from Adafruit. We're going to start by hearing from Jepler. Hey, Jepler. Oh, I'm sorry, you're muted.
Oh, I do that every once in a while. I have the prototype version of a new Adafruit product, which has got a little grid of Neopixels on it, and it hooks up to your favorite Cutie Pie. I've got an RP2040 here.
Excellent.
So if you want to head down to the overhead display, I'll actually run this. I've got two little demos here. Also, these lovely little magnetic USB connectors are in the store. Love those. So anyway, I just whipped up this demo literally in the last 15 minutes. It's kind of supposed to be evocative of the Matrix because this is the stylish green version of the board. The black version is live in the store right now. I just checked the stock before coming on. So if you think this is cool, maybe go and pick one up. And then the other thing we did is I was asked, well, do a little text scroller and bonus if there's a heart. So my animation is running on the store page of this product. So I'm just really excited that I was able to put together that little bit of code, and it's like becoming famous, like being live on YouTube. So, this little guy works with any Cutie Pie or Xiao format board, and you have the 25 NeoPixel LEDs, and this is running CircuitPython with NeoPixel library and LED animation library and some custom code that will be in a guide that you are writing, Liz, as a matter of fact. And if you just want to put some LEDs on something, I think, with a battery, you can make this into some kind of jewelry item, maybe. So I think there's just lots of, I don't have pierced ears, I can't do this, but there's possibilities here for integrating it into little things. So I'm looking forward to seeing what folks do with it.
That's awesome. And thank you so much for writing that code. I'm excited to use it when I do the product guide for folks. And I agree, it's perfect size, I think, for some wearables or maybe
tiny the word, wearables.
Or maybe tiny desktop displays, maybe trying some pixel art. So
before we were backstage and we were talking about doing a sand demo, it's a little bit small for that, but if you could figure out how to incorporate also a rotation sensor or some other kind of sensor to interact with I'm not really doing anything, but just imagine sand on this, tilting it. So get inventive, and we'll see something cool. And when you do send it into the CircuitPython newsletter, because we know we can do it with CircuitPython.
Yes. Well, thanks so much, Jeff, and I'm looking forward to playing around with it.
All right, talk to you later.
Have a good one. next we're going to hear from Scott. Hey, Scott.
Hello. Sorry
Welcome.
I'm late. I was changing a dirty diaper. For those of you who don't know, I just got off paternity leave. I was watching my kiddo for the last 12 weeks, which has been a pleasure, and plenty of dirty diapers, including the one I just did. I thought I'd just talk about a couple things that I kind of did while I was gone that were not diapers. One is the, let's see, this is the Bangle JS2, which is an NRF 52840 smartwatch that we have in the shop. Okay. But it usually comes with Espruino, which is like the JavaScript equivalent of CircuitPython or MicroPython.
Right.
But I was wanting a new watch. This one has the like sunlight readable screen, which means it's not great in the dark, but it has a light, so you can see it in the dark. But I got CircuitPython running on it. I've got a branch with some changes that I need to polish up when 8.0 is at least ready to go out the door. So I just thought I'd tease that. That's not coming like super soon. And then another thing that's not coming super soon is this little Stemma QT board that I had JLC PCB assemble for me, which is a really neat service. So like this is the form that it came to me, although I got 5, so there's one that I'm already using. But it's a weird thing, kind of like a seesaw chip, where it's actually a Cortex M0 processor in this 20-pin chip here, and then there's eight pins up here that you can control from the processor, plus another 4 more and an LED. And the idea here is that you can have a Stemma QT device that you can load custom code on and use as a coprocessor alongside CircuitPython. So we would have like some stock examples where you have an I/O expander or like an analog to digital converter that you could then use as just like you would an I2C device. But CircuitPython would actually load the code onto the device for you when you wanted to use it that way. So it's kind of like a versatile, like do whatever you need sort of board that I've been thinking about.
Very cool. I could definitely see that being handy in projects that are being more intense. I feel like CircuitPython's been expanding capabilities for folks, so I think this board is very well timed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially because Microdev, who's a community member, was adding a coprocessor API for the low power processor on the ESP S2 and 3. And so I was having some discussion about like, well, we should figure out like, how do you manage coprocessors from CircuitPython, both the ones that are like in the chip and then ones that are off the chip as well.
Right.
Which isn't, we'll see.
Very cool. Well, looking forward to that and also more about the watch as well. And
yeah, thank you. And the first thing I'm actually going to be working on is web workflow for the Pico W. So keep an eye out for that. I just haven't had a chance to actually do work. Basically,
fair.
Got through my email. So
that's
a start.
Big hurdle to start with. So
yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Thanks,
well,
Liz.
So much, Scott. Up next, we're going to hear from Nay and Pedro.
Hey, Liz. Hey, folks. So this week, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. You're good. Just wanted to check that. So this week, we want to do a little bit of a Lego add-on project. Nice. So we have some LED noodles, and it's kind of a meta thing where we wanted to use the noodles for a noodle shop. So this is the Lego creator set, the downtown noodle shop. And this is the 3D printed sign that we designed. So it has 3 different colored noodles. And then on the back, you can see how we kind of routed the wires a little bit. Maybe I'll turn it off so you can get a better look of it.
I was going to say, we can.
Yeah, so I figured out like a good way to kind of daisy chain the wires is just to make it so that the pins all kind of line up. So I made sure that the pins share the ground and the voltage. Yeah. So it ends up with just 2 wires that kind of feed out here. I have a little slide switch. And then kudos on the Lego build. It has this little hinge that lets you open the building. And inside there's lots of room for batteries to hide in there.
Perfect.
So we got a battery in there. And then I'm using a JC connector so I can disconnect this and put a different battery because the battery did die earlier. So I'm glad I did that. But overall, it's a really fun set. And if folks are looking to kind of light up their Lego builds, these LED noodles are really nice. I also have a layer by layer on how you can kind of design this sort of thing.
Nice.
So that it like has the right tolerances, and it has like these little built-in loops so that it keeps the ends in place. And that's really important when I was prototyping, so that they wouldn't fall out of place. So I also added a 1x6 Lego bar that kind of adapts onto existing Lego plates. So I didn't really have to modify the build too much. It just took out some of the tiles and then just put a bigger plate here, and that worked out pretty well. So yeah, if folks want to build this, they can print it out. It should fit on most printers, and just a little bit of soldering, and you can add whatever battery you want.
And then your review on the set, like
my review, my 30-second review on it's really fun. There's like all these like built-in little doors.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Of course, all
and
the detail.
Well, there's lots of detail inside that we can open.
The only thing I don't like is
I took it out.
You took it out?
Yeah,
oh, the little Lego dog.
There's a little Lego dog.
The little bird. Because they have molds of this. I know it's cool to build it, but I kind of like the little puppies that they have in the birds. I know they have like a parrot, so it's like, come on. That would have been cool to include the parrot and the dog.
You know, there's like a little kitchen in there. There's the little noodle bowls. The little minifig actually has a pair of chopsticks. And
so cute.
One of the reasons why I went with the design is because like the actual design has this kind of, it's not like a bowl, it's more like a paper kind of bowl thing. So that's kind of why I went with that sharp kind of design. And then let's see if the last thing I'll talk about is folks want to 3D print their own Adabot.
Yes.
Adabot is such a helpful little Lego minifig because it can hold wires and sort of things in its hands. Yeah, and he's kind of like managing.
Great for Hero Shop.
Exactly. So folks can print out their own mini Adabot as well. But yeah, get those noodles. They're still in stock. And have the time.
Get it now.
Yeah, get them down.
That's a great design. And I love how it also sits so nicely in the pegs. So I hope folks will maybe kind of remix and do their own designs for other Lego City themed builds.
Yeah, I was looking at the downtown diner.
It's kind of
big. It's a big one. Yeah, but it would be good because the sign's fairly large.
The ratio of it,
Yeah. The trick is like coming up with a design that utilizes the full length of the noodle. You can't cut the noodle. And you could mask it and stuff, but I didn't want to mask it. You know, try to use every piece of the buffalo. I forget where that came from. Something about using all the pieces.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's it. But check out the Learn Guide if folks want to download. And there's also a layer by layer, which I should link in the Learn Guide so folks can kind of get a look at how to make the thing.
Awesome.
And that's it.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks. Right. Thanks, Liz. Thanks for hosting.
Have a good one. Of course. All right, now we're going to hear from folks from the community. We're going to kick it off with Sophie. Hey, Sophie.
Hello. I just have an experiment today. Just some experimental things that I'm working on. So I've been doing 3D printing on fabric, as you know, been doing a bunch of that. And so I thought I would try 3D printing some of the conductive filament that you can get from Protopasta. Okay. So it's basically like regular PLA, but it has carbon in it, so it makes it conductive. It makes it a little tricky to print. It's a little brittle, but it's working okay. I've kind of dialed it in on my printer. So I'm going to slide you down here so you can see my desktop. This is like my fake overhead camera.
It works.
But what I have is a CircuitPython that I've just got a little code running on so that when you touch the A2 pad, it lights up the LEDs. And I have some basically capacitive touch pads that I've kind of I've built into this like flexible piece of mesh. So what I did first is sew some lines of conductive thread into the mesh. It's really hard to see, but it's these 3 skinny lines are actually conductive thread. And then, so I did that first, and then I 3D printed directly onto like over the ends of the thread.
Oh, I see.
So the thread is connecting this pad and this pad, which are 3D printed conductive filament. So now if I connect one of these pads to my A2 pad. So now I'm basically connecting this one to here to there. So now when I touch it, it works.
That's so cool.
So that's kind of neat. It's like I'm making the traces with the conductive thread, and then I'm making pads basically with the filament.
That's so awesome.
Neat. Yeah, and then I've got another one that's like this. I was just experimenting to see what would happen if I printed tiles they're just separated by just a little bit of space. So what happens is they're not touching when they're just sitting flat. So let me move this out of the way. So now only this first pad is connected, and the rest of them are like spaced out. But if I curve it so that they're all touching, see if I can do it. When they curve and they're all touching, then it conducts all the way to the end of the strip. So it's kind of an interesting behavior. Yeah, just things I'm trying. And then I've got another idea, just if this conductive thread doesn't really work out. It's a little tedious to be sewing, actually, this conductive thread. So I'm going to try some wires. So I'm kind of looking at ways that I can connect wire to the conductive filament. So I printed this with a hole and a little like trough for the wire to go through.
Yeah.
And then I shoved the end in with a little bit of like a big solder glob there. And then I shoved it in that hole, and then I closed it up with my 3D pen. So it's just kind of like nestled in there real good.
Excellent.
So yeah, more experiments to do, but that's what I've been working on.
That's so cool. Because I know you've done a lot with the 3D printed fabric, but I haven't seen folks combine it with the conductive filament and the thread. Like, I think that could be really cool for some like kind of interactive art too.
Yeah, I want to make basically want to take something like this further and make like a flexible like macro pad or like a roll up keyboard or something like that.
Oh, that would be so.
Have some kind of flexible input area on like a clothing item, like a glove or a sleeve. Like if you had these kind of going down your sleeve, and if you could just like boop, 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 do your, lights come up or whatever. Yeah, just kind of thinking along those lines.
That's great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your progress on that.
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Sophie. And last but not least, we're going to have Mark Gambler play us out. Hey, Mark.
Hi.
How's it going?
So it's going great. I literally finished what I'm about to show 2 minutes ago.
Excellent.
So I've been using a lot of the stuff Jeff had been doing to speed up Neopixels.
Okay.
So I wanted to apply it, and I'm going to hopefully this can turn and show it to my 300 pixel display. This is slowed down using time.sleep, so it's not flying past. Previously, at most I could get about 7 frames a second. This is now already at 9. If I actually, let's see if this actually works. Take out any delay.
Yeah. Whoa. That's amazing.
So the speed up is incredible compared to a couple years ago when I first did this project. I think this is now running at 80 frames a second.
Whoa. That's better than some video games with a big graphics card.
Yeah, it's the difference is incredible compared to where it used to be.
Yeah.
And now also it's running a converted font in I'm always blanking the BDF font.
Okay,
so
yeah,
you can use true type fonts. Yeah,
Serif font, that's awesome.
I've never
seen different fonts on it before.
Yeah, and I was just lucky enough to I just had one sitting around from another project which I put on. Let me see. My whole desk is going to be destroyed after this, but trying to aim everything. Yeah, this is incredible how well it looks and how quickly it is. I haven't tried it with any of the other LED animations I was using previously, but the speed up is great. And now I definitely want more Neopixels to build a bigger matrix.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, thanks. Well, and full credit to Jeff. He did a lot of the code. I was just wanting to see how much quicker it was.
Sure. But thank you so much for sharing. It's great to see this in action, and maybe they'll give some folks some inspirations for projects knowing that this capability is there. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun to do. You just solder a lot of Neopixels together.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Have a good night. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's show and tell. Thank you, everyone, for coming by and showing your projects. Tonight, we're going to have JP's workshop on, so stay tuned for that at 8 p.m. Bye, folks.